delivery knockouts. So he's giving you that action that you want to see. The before mentioned Andre Ward, who in my book is the best fighter in the world, who can, knock out anybody that he actually faces. He ended, his last fight early. He's on a crash course to go against who I feel is the second best fighter in the world, Sergey Kovalev. And that fight is going to be phenomenal. And when that fight is made, we'll be covering it here on the All Things Sport podcast. And I encourage all of you to get that fight and watch a masterful boxing match, man. And that fight could be a chess match, or it could be an all-out brawl, so you never know what you're going to get in the sweet science from week to week, month to month, Saturday night to Saturday night. But again, man, a lot of people are saying that Gennady Golovkin and Roman Gonzalez are two of the top guys in the sport. And it's hard to argue that for the most part, except for when you look at the fact of who are they fighting. Roman Gonzalez fighting at flyweight. There's not a bevy of talent in that division. So is he really the top fighter in the world? A lot of people, the great Jim Lampley to be included, have him atop their pound for pound list. I like to see him fight against some better competition so we can see how good he really is. Triple G kind of in that same category. Triple G and Roman Gonzalez definitely in my top 5, but I just would like to see them in with some tougher opponents to see how they fare against elite level competition. Because if I were to ask you right now, what elite level competition have either of those fighters been in the ring with, you couldn't give me a name. And for many years, it was fighters who were at the top of the game, and they might say, well, who has he fought? Who has he fought? Yet they were fighting fighters, for years. When you look at Floyd Mayweather, they will always say, well, he can't be the top fighter unless he beats Manny Pacquiao. Well, what about Carlos Baldomir? What about Zab Judah? What about Ricky Hatton? What about Oscar De La Hoya? What about all these fighters that he beat at the top of their game, like Diego Corrales, the undefeated fighter at the time, when Floyd beat him? So I'm not really sure how Roman Gonzalez and Triple G got crowned. Now, just be consistent with me. My top 5 right now, I have Andre Ward, who's proven himself at the number 1 slot. I've got Sergey Kovalev, who's also proven himself in the number 2 slot. I do have Gennady Golovkin in my 3rd spot because he's a great fighter. I just want to see him in a little bit tougher. I got Roman Gonzalez, and Keith Thurman rounding out my top 5. Actually, let me replace Keith Thurman with Terrence Bud Crawford.
Yeah, I mean, how can you not have Bud?
Yeah, and boxing is a little bit different from your other sports like football, basketball. There's not one set ranking system. There's not one body that says these guys are 1 through 5. So it's all up to you, the fan, to place who you want in your pound for pound list. Boxing, it's in a good spot right now, man. And I think that there are only better things to come for the sweet science moving forward.
Yeah, moving forward, man, the sport of boxing, this time of year, starting in May, leading all the way up until the end of the year, big fights every weekend, pay-per-view, HBO, Showtime, PBC on NBC. You got, Spike having fights, man. It's a big time in the sport of boxing. And just speaking of the sport of boxing locally, we have a promoter right here in Durham, North Carolina, David Moore with One Hit Promotions, recently was named one of the top 50 promoters in the country. So just want to salute and shout him out. We did some work with him in the past, commentated several of his fights. He has a fight coming up in Fayetteville, if I'm not mistaken, on April the 30th, featuring Jamar the Truth Freeman, fighter out of Wilson, North Carolina, who's fought a couple times on Showtime. So, maybe we'll have David on the show next week to help him, promote those fights for that weekend. Got to reach out to him, see if he's available. But, would be remiss if we didn't mention him when we're talking about the sport of boxing. We do have boxing right here in the great state of North Carolina.
Yeah, man. And those fight cards that One Hit Promotion puts on are great fight cards, and they do amateur fights and they do professional fights. Another name to look out for, female fighter Ebony Rivera. She can fight, man. She can fight, and I commentated those fights right beside you and got to see Ebony Rivera up close and personal. A lefty, southpaw. She's slick. She got a lot of power. Not the biggest woman in the world, but I've seen her stop fighters who were several inches taller than her, longer reach, but she can fight. And then you have the Pink Panther. The
Pink Panther. I thought you were going to forget to mention him. The Pink Panther.
Myrie Coleman, Fayetteville's own, at heavyweight. And, he's all action and out of the ring. If you hadn't seen him fight and then do a post-fight press conference, you're missing out, man. This guy, he can do it all. A lot of great fighters in that One Hit Promotion stable. They even got a fighter who's 47 years old, and James Edwards, fighting at welterweight. Dude can fight.
Yeah, pretty big things coming out of, the One Hit Promotions camp. Again, we'll reach out to Dave, see if we can get he on the show, either he or his wife Tatiana, maybe both of them, so they can speak about their company and what they have going on in the fight game. But breaking news, Pierre, the Houston Rockets hold on for a 1-point win over the Steph Curry-less Golden State Warriors. They blew a 18-point lead in the second half, man. Damn near lost the game. You know what? I'm done with you. I'm done with you, Houston Rockets.
They got the win, though, man.
Best thing coming out of Houston
is hell serve at home.
Best thing coming out of Houston is Beyonce. So I don't know what's going on with the Houston Rockets, man. You barely hung on to beat the Golden State Warriors without Steph Curry. You let some rookie named Ian Clark, I think he's a rookie from Belmont, tear you apart in the fourth quarter. You almost lost that game, but you held on for a 1-point win. Houston is back in the series 2-1, heading into game 4, I believe, on Sunday.
Bringing it back to boxing, though, a pair of twins coming out of Houston. You got the Charlo brothers, Jermell and Jamal. Charlo brothers are trying to take over the 154-pound division, and, themselves and the slick Cuban southpaw, Arislandi Lara, right now holding down the 154-pound division. Canelo Alvarez, really the best fighter in the division, but technically is the champion at 160 pounds. He's got a mega fight coming up with Amir Khan. And at first, I'm thinking, man, Canelo's fighting Amir Khan, and that's not going to be much of a fight. Canelo will get rid of him pretty quick. But the more I think about it, Amir Khan may have that speed advantage. He may use his legs if he's smart to use a lot of real estate and make Canelo work. But man, Canelo is just such a great boxer, and I didn't give him enough credit before his last fight against Miguel Cotto. But when he came out and outboxed Miguel Cotto, and he threw some shots in there that I didn't think he was capable of doing. So Canelo Alvarez is a heck of a fighter as well, man. The Sweet Science right now, it's in a real good place. It's in a real good place from about 112 all the way up to the heavyweight. You can see exciting fights. A lot of the divisions are very deep, and you can see good fights everywhere, man. So I'm pretty excited about boxing. Like I told you before, football season ends, basketball season ends, baseball season ends. Boxing is year round, man. So I'm always entertained.
Yes, sir. Boxing, the Sweet Science, whatever you want to call it, man. It's that time of year. It's gearing up. It's the summertime. It's gearing up. Put something on the grill. Watch the fight. Have a couple drinks if you drink. A couple libations if you don't. If you don't drink, drink some Gatorade or something. I don't know what you do, but enjoy the fights and, just relax with your family, man, and get back into one of the great American sports. I know it's boxing. Some people don't agree with it. Oh, they're punching each other in the face. They're getting paid. They're not doing it for free. Why are you worried about them? Enjoy yourself. Stop being a Debbie Downer. Stop. I don't understand it, man. Speaking of Debbie Downer, we had some sad news today, Pierre. Speaking of Debbie Downer, just on a serious note, man, we lost a musical icon, today. The artist known as Prince passed away at the tender age of 57 at his home in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I got the alert on my phone. A lot of times you get alerts on your phone, you don't read them right away, or you may think, oh, that's not real. But you know what? You know why I thought it was real, Pierre?
Why's that?
Not because ABC News reported it. Not because CNN. This is the world that we live in today. TMZ reported it first.
Yeah, Prince was he had some joints. Like, I've never been a huge Prince fan, but I've got several songs that I like of Prince. Who can forget Diamonds and Pearls?
But before I get into my favorite Prince song, I think that a lot of this generation knows Prince from the Chappelle Show. From the Chappelle Show skit where Dave Chappelle and Charlie Murphy reenacted a moment where Prince was playing basketball against Charlie Murphy. So a lot of this generation don't know just how great of an artist Prince was. And a lot of, people debate, was Prince better or was Michael Jackson better? A lot of people take sides. But on a day where he passed, I'm not going to get into that. I'm just going to pay respect and homage to one of the great entertainers of all time. My favorite Prince song, and I think a lot of people's favorite Prince song, was Doves Cry. I mean, there is no better Prince song than, come on, man. This is what it sounds like when the doves cry. Just want to say rest in peace to Prince, man, and all his fans are in mourning. I know his family is in mourning. Unexpected death. He was sick about a week ago, it was reported. Was on a flight to Atlanta, had to stop that plane in Illinois, if I'm not mistaken. But he did get out of the hospital during that occasion, went to the concert the next day and assured his fans that he was all right, only to pass about a week later. So Prince, dead at the age of 57. You'll be sorely missed. With that being said, man, got to get out of here, Pierre. We've been having such a good time on the All Things Sport podcast, where we talk about all things sport and much more. So, this week, man, crazy week in the world of sports. We recapped it to the best of our abilities. I think, if I gave us a grade between, A and B, is there a letter that goes before A?
And as always, man, it's been a blast, Daimeon. Appreciate you having me here in the Banks Boys studio in Durham, North Carolina.
Yes, sir.
I always enjoy, when we can do our thing in the same studio. But we'll catch you guys next week. Make sure you please continue to go to banksboy.com. Check out the YouTube channel, the In My Humble YouTube channel. Of course, the All Things Sport podcast, Daimeon's blog, my blog. Got a story coming up on my blog, Basketball Family up there in Ohio. A dad that was able to escape gang violence in Chicago, Illinois, murder capital of the United States, through basketball, and now is raising his sons in Columbus, Ohio, using the same principles in basketball, and sons are pretty daggone good too. So look for that on my blog.
Also follow us on Instagram and Twitter. My Instagram and Twitter is @SportsByDaimeon, and follow Pierre on Instagram and Twitter _my_humble. Do it now. Get to the chopper.